Hey, hey, hey. Happy Tuesday. Come on in, pull up a chair. The Daily Dope is in the air. Howdy, 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 gang. Yes, I'm Jeff McAleer, back once again as your host here at The Daily Dope, presented by thegaminggang.com, which I happen to be the founder and editor-in-chief. So welcome aboard. If this is your first time joining me, kick back, relax. This is not rocket surgery by any stretch of the imagination. We're just hanging out, talking tabletop gaming. Of course, if you are one of my, I don't want to say constant viewers. That sounds kind of odd, right? Like there's a lot of people, oh my gosh, thousands of viewers. But if you are somebody who hangs out in chat with me during the shows, thanks for joining me once again. Tonight is Tuesday, November 10th, 2020. This is episode 570 of the Daily Dope. We are rapid, pretty crazy. So before we jump into it, let me point out that if you like this video, by all means, please give it a quick thumbs up. Subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel if you haven't already. If you do subscribe, ding that bell, because not only is it going to let you know when the Daily Dope streams live right here on YouTube, Monday through Thursday nights, it's also going to tell you when I upload other videos as well, such as yesterday's review of Crusader Kingdoms from Worthington Publishing. And tomorrow you'll have Villagers, my review of Villagers. Why am I doing that voice? All right, that's kind of weird. I will be reviewing Villagers from Sinister Fish Games. So keep your eyes peeled for that review tomorrow. All right. Anyway, so also want to point out that when you're not watching videos on the Gaming Gang channel, be sure to visit thegaminggang.com for all the latest in gaming news, reviews, and a whole lot more. Get your geek on at thegaminggang.com. Of course, if you are watching live, there is also chat available on YouTube. It's not on screen. One of the ways that I keep some of the more unusual commenters at bay. But I do my best to kind of, keep up with chat. So if you want to say howdy, or maybe you got a question, a comment, by all means, please chime in. I will do my best to respond. So far, a grade A was first out the chute by saying hello in chat. So we've got a grade A. We've got Flaming Huron and Disavowed 92. Are in chat so far tonight. Welcome aboard. So Flaming Huron says there's already some buffering going on their end. And I got to be honest, it looks like we were dropping some frames early on. I don't know. I really do not know what the deal is here. Because once again, we had it nice and clear for a while. I mean, we went months without any major issues. Then we had a week where it was just brutal. And we would see the disconnect, and luckily it didn't stay disconnected for long. Otherwise, then we would have had two parts of a single video. But yeah, once again, it's kind of, I don't know. Like I said, I have an impression that it might be because somebody up above the Duct Tape Studios is streaming YouTube while I'm trying to upload to YouTube. So if you remember, we had a little bit of an issue with that before that I stumbled across one day. But that was not what the problem was previously. We had a lot of drop packets in the upload. And I called to complain to Comcast, and they were like, oh, everything's fine. And then suddenly, Everything was fine. So, pretty strange. All right. So, a great AS. Are they watching this? No, they are not watching this. They're not watching this at all. God forbid they'd watch Netflix until I'm finished with this. What can you do? What can you do? Anyway. So, hopefully everybody's having a great evening or morning for, well, I think it's afternoon now for Flaming Huron. But something I wanted to mention, I found out when I will be receiving Tasha's Cauldron of Everything for 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons from Wizards of the Coast. It is arriving on Thursday. So if it gets here early enough, I will put together the first look video on Thursday. It will be up. I always do my best to try to get those D&D book first looks reviews before they go on sale. Although this is going to be a little tough because Thursday's the 12th. It goes on sale, I think, the 17th. So it's going to be a tight one here. But I am going to do my best to have that video out there on Thursday. So here's the weird thing that happened. So I get an email to my Gmail account telling me of this FedEx shipment, which is the book. It's probably the 2 books. It's probably the alternate cover, which I will be doing another giveaway for. I don't need 2 copies, right? So I got it to my Gmail email address, but that's not the email address that I use for Wizards of the Coast or their PR company that they work with. That's my gaming gang email address. So I'm like, why in the world am I getting this FedEx notification to Gmail? Very weird. Very, very weird. Flaming Heron says, yes, it is now after midday there. Double daylight savings time. Flaming Heron's like, enter me into that contest. The rules are going to be similar, I think, to last time out. So I'm probably going to do it where it's going to be comments on either the first look video. Like I said, I'm going to do my best to get the review done before it goes on sale. But I think I'll do it where you have to comment either on the first look video or the review, just like I did last time. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Actually, the last time I did, of course, you'll have to be a subscriber. That goes without saying. Anyway, so just wanted to share that info. So let's jump on into the news. Because right now on Kickstarter for White Wizard Games, in fact, it launched today, is Kapow! I've got the dope. Do you want to be a hero or a villain? Choose your side, grab your dice, and get ready to roll. Kapow uses buildable dice, allowing you to add and remove dice faces during the course of battle. This makes for a super strategic dice battling experience. With each roll, you decide how to attack, defend, and power up your character by choosing where to place your dice. The battles get more explosive with each roll, and as you gain more dice and dice faces. Kapow is simple to learn, roll in place, but it has layers of strategy as you customize your dice pool and leverage the unique powers of the Kapow universe's heroes and villains. At the start of the game, you'll choose a hero or villain to play. Each comes with their own super board, showing their unique powers, starting dice pool and health. Each round, players simultaneously roll their dice and secretly place them on their player board and or their super board to attack, defend, or power up, gaining more dice and adding faces to their buildable action dice. All players then simultaneously remove their player screens, revealing their boards. Players deal damage equal to their attack minus their target's defense. Reduce your opponent's health to 0 to knock them out and win the game. There is a short, about a minute and a half, Kickstarter video from White Wizard Games. So let's kick back and take a peek.
In a city where forces of darkness are rising, crime runs rampant in its once pristine streets. The sinister Chairman Victor Kane and his minions grip the city in fear. And one band of heroes are the only hope to stop them. Choose your side in an epic battle of good against evil. Pick your unique superpowered hero or villain and enter a battle of wits and brute strength. Roll your dice and create attack and defense combos while trying to anticipate your opponent's move. Remove your screen and watch the mayhem ensue. Use power-ups to gain new dice and add new faces to the customizable action dice. Just snap them into place to create new and awesome combos that will knock your opponent senseless. Each hero or villain has its own set of unique powers, maximum health, and starting dice set that will make each match a distinctive showdown. Will you join the forces of light and hope and try to restore peace and justice to the city? Or will you don a cloak of evil to help Victor Kane rule the night?
Kapow is for 2 players, ages 8 and up, plays in 20 to 60 minutes. You can reserve a copy of either Volume 1 or Volume 2 for a $45 pledge. You can get the Team Up Edition, which is basically you're picking up both volumes, for an $89 pledge through December 3rd. Expected delivery is December of next year. Aha! So this game has been out before. In fact, it was actually sold by White Wizard Games. They picked this game up from the original publisher. I think it was kind of like self-published. So this is a big Kickstarter for them. Although I got to admit, the artwork's fine. The superheroes leave a little bit to be desired, in my opinion. I don't know. So I have to ask, all right, get ready. Get ready. Yeah, if you got kids around, cover your ears. So one of the heroes is called Tough Nut. So if you take Tough Nut down, does that mean you bust a nut? Ay, 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 caramba. I know. What can I tell you? It's like, I saw that, I just was like, So, Kabuki Kid, Ibram, and now John Vogel have just popped into chat. Good to see everybody hanging out. Double K's in the house. So this could be kind of cool. I guess Tom Vassell says it's one of the 10 best 2-player games of 2020. Although this game has been out before, so I don't know. I got to be honest. I don't know if it's good because Tom Vassell thinks it's good, or if Tom Vassell's saying it's good because he's getting paid to do the videos for it. Because he's the only person I think who's got preview videos for this Kickstarter. So I don't know. I have no idea. So I see there's some discussion of a new Kickstarter from Steamforged that is launched today. I got to be honest, I've reached out to Steamforged a couple times, and they've completely ignored me. So it's like, So I have to laugh. John Vogel's like, hey, everybody, sorry I'm late. You're not late. Whenever you get here is perfect time. So, of course, Flaming Heron says, you're not so late, John. Viper Dave isn't here yet. Yes, because Viper Dave loves to come in right when the news ends, or actually more often is when I'm saying, okay, that's everybody. That's it. We're done. So Great Ace says they ignore everybody. I believe that. Kabuki Kid says the game that's got her psyched is Dune Imperium. I know, I'm with you on that one. And there were people complaining about the art style on that, which I was like, so they partnered with Legendary Films and they used, some of the actual actors and actresses for, the artwork. It's not like it's like a Topps Star Wars card or something. It's not like it's all like just stills from the movie. So yes, that does look pretty good. So Grade A says Steve Forged ignores their customers too. Well, that's not cool. That's not good at all. All right, so we were talking about Kickstarters. We were talking about December. Well, arriving this December following a successful Kickstarter for Vesuvius Media and Iello Games is Pacific Rails Inc. Here's the dope. It's 1862, and the U.S. Congress has decreed that a railroad be built that will span the continent, linking the East Coast and the West Coast by rail for the first time. The Transcontinental Railroad will be an epic feat of engineering, combining advanced construction techniques with raw human power and determination. That would maybe not be the phrasing I would use. A fortune is to be made for those who can build the track the fastest. Your task is to build an efficient team of workers, plan out your routes, and race the other players to connect both coasts first. In Pacific Rails Inc., players are the presidents of rival railway companies. Using worker placement and resource management, players compete to build a continuous track from one side of the board to the other. When the two sides meet, the end of the game is triggered, and glory awaits those who have built the best railway. The core mechanic of this game is worker placement. On your turn, you either place a worker onto an action or remove an existing worker. If you place adjacent to one of your own workers, your actions are powered up. Planning out a sequence of action is vital to get the best results. Keep an eye on the other players and try to block them if they're building up to a super move. Not sure what a super move would be. You're also building up your team during the game. Your engine starts with just the foreman. You can hire extra specialists to your train that allow you to build more track, lobby Congress, and give you powerful actions. Add in some carriage bonuses, and you are on the way to creating a powerful engine that will allow powerful actions to be chained together, producing epic turns that will show your mastery of the rails. Once you have your track ready, you need to plan out the best route. You need to have the tracks ready to match the terrain you wish to cover and decide which cities to connect and which to skip. You must be able to complete a connection to the next city in one action, so make sure you're not missing any tracks. Also, watch what your rivals are up to. Points are on offer if you can get them to use your connected cities. Pacific Rails Inc. is for 2 to 4 players, ages 14 and up. Plays around 60 to 90 minutes. It's going to carry an MSRP of $44.99 when it hits stores next month. Sweet. Wanted to share this because I know there are a lot of fans of 18xx games out there. This I wouldn't consider to be an 18xx game. Yes, of course. Yeah, you're building railroads. It is the 19th century. But there's nothing here about stocks or rolling stock, anything like that. So this looks to be a very Euro kind of game as opposed to more traditional railroading games where it's usually all about the money. So kind of cool, kind of interesting. So there is some discussion about Dune. And yes, it's too bad that it is pushed back again. Yeah, it's pretty sparse what we're going to have to watch pretty soon. I have already predicted that we are going to see tons more reality programming when it's all said and done for about the next, I don't know, year. Oh man, boy, I tell you, this pandemic is just something too. I'm not going to get into it, but it's like, gosh. All right. So people are like, oh, the movie being split into two parts sucks. I don't know. I got to admit that I think the original Dune, the David Lynch movie, which personally I think is underappreciated. Yes, it's got problems. But come on, Dune is not an easy book to adapt. But there are parts of it that are just really kind of just really rushed as far as compared to the book itself. So yeah, so a great ace. By the time we're done with COVID, second part of the movie will be done. They'll just be able to release them back to back. That's how it'll work. So Flaming Heron says, oh, please, no more reality trash. I don't watch any reality TV. None. Not my style whatsoever. All right. Next news piece. Remember I talked about there were 4 new GMT games that were shipping. I think it's 4. I don't think Next War Vietnam is new. I think it's a reprint. I don't know. I'll have to take a look. But I'm going to share the news about the 4th game that's shipping from GMT. Here's the dope on 1918-1919 Storm in the West. In 1992, Ted S. Racier published his first design in the late lamented Command magazine. 1918 Storm in the West, covering the last 9 months of World War I on the Western Front. The game was an immediate success, earning a Charles S. Roberts Award nomination and leading to the design of a planned 1919 variant, which assumed a German defensive strategy in 1918 and an all-out Allied assault to win the war the following year. GMT is pleased to offer a new boxed version of these classic Great War designs with new artwork and including an additional 1918 Allied offensive scenario published later in Command. This new GMT boxed version of 1918-19 Storm in the West is a 2-player system that also works fine for solo play. Units are mainly corps, divisions for the USA, whose oversized units were nearly the size of Allied corps, and include infantry, tanks, cavalry, and air support. The Germans start the 1918 campaign with large numbers of Stasstruppen. I almost said Strasstruppen. It's Stasstruppen. Trained to overcome the trench stalemate of the previous 3 years. This gives the German player a strong offensive capacity in the first half of the game. But these shock troops are a wasting asset, and if the Allies survive the initial blows, growing numbers of U.S. troops and Allied tanks will see the Germans forced into a desperate defense in the game's second half. In the planned 1919 campaign, the Germans are assumed to have used the collapse of Russia to stabilize the Balkan and Italian fronts, foregoing the historical 1918 Kaiser's battles in the West. The Allies are thus faced with a strong German defense, but with a fully mobilized American army and backed by masses of tanks and planes. This hypothetical campaign challenges the Allies to leverage these arms into the world's first blitzkrieg, while the Germans fight to force a stalemate that will leave them dominant in Europe. The large hex map, scaled at 8 miles to the hex, covers the active area of the Western Front, the Pinel in the south to Antwerp, and the Channel coast in the north. Terrain includes forts, Allied trenches, German secondary and primary trenches, forts. Don't we just say forts? It's like how many times? Forts and forts and forts and forts. Forest, marsh, floodplain, forts. No, I just threw forts in there again. Mountain and the devastated zone created by the German withdrawal in the Somme sector in 1917. The map is back printed with separate versions for the 1918 and 1919 campaigns. Simple but not simplistic, this GMT version of 1918-19, Storm in the West, can be played in a single session and offers players a wide range of strategic and operational choices in bloody but dynamic campaigns to decide the outcome of the First World War. With updated artwork by Mark Simonich and Charlie Kibler, this new combined edition is a must for lovers of classic wargaming. 1918-1919 Storm in the West is for 2 players, ages 12 and up. I would think it'd be a little higher than that. Plays around 4 hours and carries an MSRP of $49. Ka-ching! I gotta say, this could be pretty interesting. Ted Racier has designed some good games. So if you remember, yesterday I was talking about A Time for Trumpets, which is a new Battle of the Bulge monster game from GMT, and I said, yeah, this is kind of like the least appealing to me because it's like old, creaky, hex encounters looking action to me, especially since it's based on systems from the 70s. This will probably not be the case here, although I will admit I find the counters really boring looking. It's Bruno only does bulge games. Damn it. Says a grade A. I threw the damn it in there. But I like the map looks cool, but unfortunately there's really nothing out there visually. I actually downloaded the rules to be able to get some of these images to show you, but it's it's got the really kind of boring NATO iconography, and it's kind of got it looks as if the counters are all like attack factor, defense factor, movement factor. But like I said, Ted Racier does design good games. And this is hypothetical, so this could be kind of cool, kind of interesting. All right, let's move on to some role-playing game news, because I was talking yesterday, we were talking about Business Wizards, which looks pretty funny, from 9th Level Games, which led me into talking about Mazes, which I know a Grey Day has backed the Kickstarter, and I guess I'm going to get to see a review copy of that because it's not available in PDF. It's only physical, which actually led me to the Kickstarter that 9th Level Games has for The Excellence. And it's close to wrapping up, and it's oh so close to funding. There's hours remaining. Here's the dope. It's time to princess up. You've earned a sword, you've won a crown. Now you have a responsibility to help keep Awesome World, well, awesome and safe. Are you princess enough? The Excellence is a game about being excellent princesses in an awesome cartoon world. Each cartoon adventure is created by the players and game mistress. I'd say GM if you're a guy. If you identify that way. Anyway, it's created by the players and GMs working together. The Excellence is great for a one-session pickup game or for an entire campaign. Powered by Polymorph, The Excellence features a unique 1 die per player role-playing system that's perfect for new players and veterans alike. Haven't had a chance to pick up The Excellence yet? Don't worry. You can add on The Excellence RPG to any level. Did we mention yet that The Excellence was nominated as Product of the Year and Best Family Product by the 2020 Gen Con Any Awards? What an honor. But keep in mind, this Kickstarter is for accessories. So if you already have The Excellence, there's lots of goodies for you, because there is The Excellence Princess Diary. Not only can you keep the princesses you created in this diary, it also includes another awesome world adventure and 6 more instantly playable princesses. You'll get both the physical and digital versions of the diary. There's the Princess Dice and Lesson Token counter. We partnered, we being 9th Level Games, not me. We partnered with Level Up Dice to make some amazingly cool princess dice and the absolute cutest token counter we've ever seen. Each dice set includes 1 D4, D6, D8, and D10. These are the dice required by the polymorph system, which the Excellence uses. Both sets have unique excellence iconography, a paw on the one for your beast friend, and a crown on top number of your die. Keep track of all the lessons you've learned during the game of the excellence. Store this cute flower-shaped counter with your dice for use in any game that requires you to keep track of things. Because I guess, math is hard, right? For some people, I guess it is, especially that damn new math. The innovative level up counter has a magnetic closure which allows the pieces to move freely without falling apart. There's also the Excellence Roll20 pack. That's right, the Excellence is coming to Roll20, and you can get the really awesome pack along with the compendium and character sheet to play with your friends online, as well as the Excellence Princess pencil case. Shine brighter with this pink iridescent pouch that is 6 inches by 9 inches of pure princess. It's large enough to hold the Excellence RPG, the Excellence Diary, your dice, and some pencils. I bet you could fold up some paper, slip it right in there too. There are a slew of pledge levels available. We'll talk about those in a moment, but let's take a peek at the Kickstarter video from Ninth Level Games talking about the Excellence and all the accessories on hand.
Hi, I'm Adria Wilson of Ninth Level Games. I created the Excellence RPG with my good friend Chris O'Neill. It's been super successful, yay! So we're now kickstarting a third reprint, as well as some really cool princess accessories. There will be a princess diary, princess dice, a pencil case, a flower-shaped token counter, a Roll20 Excellence pack, and more. The diary will feature 6 new princesses, as well as space for 12 of the princesses that you create, and it'll come with at least 1 new adventure. We've partnered with Level Up Dice to bring you 2 levels of princess dice, high-end aluminum and oversized resin. These dice are awesome. I cannot wait to roll them. It's time to princess up your role-playing experience.
Okay. Oh, what's that? Oh. I'm a princess!
There are a slew of pledge levels available, including actually having folks affiliated with the Excellence run an online game for you. But suffice to say, you can snag all of the accessories for a $79 pledge through November 12th. As I mentioned, this is in its last final days. Expected delivery is June of next year. Oh, and if you don't already have the Excellence RPG, a $25 pledge will get you the core book and that game diary together. So there is that. So I had to kind of chuckle because the little puppet at the end, I believe it's supposed to be a kobold. So is that one of the kobolds that ate a baby? Right. Kobolds ate my baby. So I had to kind of chuckle. I'm like, uh-huh. So this could be a lot of fun for family gamers out there. I think people just assume when I talk about role-playing games, I'm all about the, like the super serious, terrorize my players with with Call of Cthulhu and stuff like that. Furthest from it. Nope. I dig all different stuff. So there is some discussion going on about David Lynch out there. Well, actually, we'll kind of talk a little bit about movie directors after I finish up my last news piece here. So I will kind of piggyback on that. So there is a new 5e monster book. It's available from Cawood Publishing. You may recall I reviewed a couple of their monster books that came out. This had a successful Kickstarter. I've got the dope on Monsters of the City, Sins and Virtues, I should say, plural. Cawood Publishing presents Monsters of the City for 5th edition. Over 100 new monsters plus resources to run an urban campaign. It includes 14 legendary monsters that represent the sins and virtues. Each pair of sins and virtues influence many of the other monsters in 7 specific city districts. From the rich lich to the cynical sage of old age, from the duck of many things to the fallen king, your game will never be the same. Each district will contain 2 legendary monsters that represent one of the sins and one of the virtues. Monsters in the book include devils, demons, celestials, fae, undead, constructs, oozes, giants, and many humanoids. In fact, 3 new races of humanoids will be included. So the monsters have come to the city. The 140-page full-color book includes general lore about cities, game master advice, adventure hooks, 103 new 5e monsters with individual illustrations, stat blocks, and bios. There's undead, humanoids, fae, fiends, elementals, constructs, lycanthropes, oozes, and more. It also includes those 14 sins and virtues creatures, which are all legendary monsters. They all have challenge ratings from 1/2 to 23. There's cleric and paladin subclasses. There's encounters, events, and location tables, as well as a city map. You can score the 140-page hardcover, including the PDF, at Drive-Thru RPG for $42.99, or you can grab the PDF alone for $19.99. Ka-ching! So, all right, gotta be honest, a little pricey. Little bit pricey. And yes, I have reviewed the 2 other books from Cawood Publishing, and I thought they're really good. I really do think they're very nicely done. 140-page hardcover for $42.99. And I get it. These are small companies. I understand. But it's just kind of, I don't know. To me personally, I think it's the PDF price that really kind of like 140 pages, $19.99. So, well, do have to point out though that if you didn't already know, the Gaming Gang, thus the Daily Dope, are affiliated with the One Bookshelf sites. So if you are going to swing over to, say, Drive-Thru RPG, please swing by the Gaming Gang first. Click on one of our banners. That way, if you do make a purchase, I get a little portion of that sale. It's a very small portion, but it all adds up. It helps keep me around. So I am going to see a review copy of Monsters of the City, Sins and Virtues. I believe I'm even getting a review copy from 9th Level Games of The Excellence as well. So kind of cool. So I think, I might be wrong, I think that 9th Level is sending Business Wizards, Mazes, and the Excellence. I keep wanting to say the Elementals. It's like, what? There's nothing to do about it. So Grey Day's like, what? No Cubicle 7 news about a starter set? That's tomorrow, man. Relax. I have been trying to kind of stay ahead of the game as far as like having my news ready. So, like for an example, like for tomorrow's show, I already have 3 news pieces all set up, good to go. I usually try to leave one slot open in case something breaks that day. So, Kabuki Kid says, The Elementals, that was a cool comic book back in the 80s. Bill Willingham. Yeah, pretty cool. He's a lunatic, but good artist. So, Ibram says, there's a lot of art in the Monsters of the City. Art is expensive. I get it. I get it. I understand, but I also have to kind of, yes, Kabuki Kid, Bill Willingham of probably he's best known for Fables when it was on Vertigo, part of DC. But yes, I know he worked for TSR doing D&D artwork. So Flaming Heron says the prices are a little whacked when you can get core book PDFs for that price or a little more. Well, here's something that kind of throws me off a little bit too. And I mentioned it last night. Maybe if I do an interview, I don't know, with somebody from Ninth Level Games, I can ask about this. But it seems like their digital product and their physical product are like the same prices. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense. It's a little weird. So once again, I understand these are small companies and, you know, a lot of companies are trying to stay afloat. So, but some of these companies have had the same kind of pricing scheme for, and I don't mean scheme like it's a diabolical scheme. I just mean like schematic for quite some time. So talking about physical books, remember I mentioned I got the Dare. This showed up yesterday, and then I forgot to bring it downstairs or down to the Duct Tape Studios, which actually is downstairs. Why did I stop? Pinky's floating around here. I'm sure you don't hear her, but she's in fine tune. Yes. So anyway, I knew this was an older adventure that's been like revamped. I didn't realize the adventure was like 20 years old or even more than 20 years old. So kind of cool. So I'll have a review of this soon enough. See, the funny thing is, this probably would have been awesome to have gotten ahead of Halloween, right? To told everybody, oh man, check this out. It came out before Halloween. I know that. All right. So, yes, Dare, drug awareness, resistance, education. Just like I always got a kick out of the like rockers against drugs. You see that all the time, like on MTV. And it turned out those same rock stars who were sitting there going, hey kids, don't do dope. Don't be doing drugs, would walk out of the shoot and go do drugs. So it's like, all right. Anyway, there was some discussion about various different directors out there, and David Lynch and Eraserhead. Kabuki Kid mentioned that Eraserhead traumatized her boyfriend. I got to admit, that was an odd, effed up kind of movie, especially when it came out. I remember that came out, and I was maybe 13. I don't even know if I was that old. But I remember I saw it, and I was like, huh? But that was like, like, maybe I was younger than that, because isn't that from like the late 70s? I know I saw it. I think I saw it on VHS, maybe. Kabuki Kid says, yes, totally traumatized him. I understand. So I am not going to say, hey, it didn't traumatize me, but I was like, pretty bizarre. All right. So Flaming Heron, there's some discussion about pricing for RPGs and stuff like that. Once again, completely understand. 1977. Thank you, Kabuki Kid. I would have been 9. So I know I didn't see it. here's the weird thing, okay? And maybe my memory banks aren't working properly, but I could have swore that Eraserhead came out, and right about the same time was It's Alive, about that like weird, like satanic baby thing. Pretty sure it was around the same time or within maybe a year of each other. And it was still, that is a movie I did not see. It's like, yeah, thanks. I got to be honest, I am not a huge horror movie fan. I love John Carpenter stuff. It depends. I'm not a big gore fan. And yes, I know it's just special effects, and now it's just computerized. But I don't know. I'm not into gore for just the sake of gore. That's why some of the stuff that I've seen recently, like series and stuff like that, where it's kind of like, okay, for an example, The Boys. I think The Boys is great. But there's some stuff that's just thrown in there where it's like, all right, did you really have to show that? Come on. So Kabuki Kid says, It's Alive also traumatized her boyfriend. He was just talking about it. Rosemary's Baby is a classic, yes. But you know what? That didn't freak me out. So Flaming Heron asks, am I a Saw fan? Nah, not really. In fact, well, okay, so I'll have to say, I've never seen any of them. Never really. It's like I saw the first Scream. After that, I was like, eh. The Omen, yeah, interesting series there. Though The Omen 2 is kind of weak. I guess maybe I should say the Omen 3 is not very good either. Isn't that with Sam Neill? Isn't Sam Neill like Damien grown up? I don't know. Sometimes these movies I'll kind of roll into one. All right. So that is the news for tonight. Anything else floating around out here that we should discuss? Let's take a peek. Oh, so there was some discussion about directors in that. I am a fan. So Kabuki Kid says, yeah, that was Sam Neill's first movie. Cool. I am a fan of John Carpenter. I think a lot of his movies are really underappreciated. I like David Lynch to a certain extent. Some of his stuff is just like, what? Like what was it? The Laura Dern, Nicolas Cage movie was like, huh? Like, what the? Nicolas Cage is kind of an Elvis sort of guy. I was like, Young at Heart. Isn't that it? Isn't that what it's called? I saw it once when it came out, and I was like, huh? What the hell's that? Jeez. Anyway, so yes, I like him. I like a lot of Christopher Nolan stuff, although his stuff is kind of bizarre. Yeah, outside of Batman. Although I gotta say, Interstellar, I was not knocked out by. I was like, There you go, Starman, underrated Carpenter gem, which is not a horror movie either. So let's see, the Coen Brothers. I like the Coen Brothers quite a lot. Definitely. Miller's Crossing's one of my all-time favorite movies, which I'm pretty sure is Coen Brothers. So, all righty. Anyway, so yeah, I mean, and obviously enough, like the Steven Spielbergs and stuff like that out there. Kabuki Kid says, "Oh, I disagree. Loved Interstellar." Yeah. I think the problem I had with it was there were a lot of movies that were all kind of like spacey sort of films that were all coming out at the same time. And we had like The Martian, we had Interstellar, and then we had the movie with George Clooney where he buys the farm, which I thought was pretty good. I thought The Martian was pretty good. I don't know. Maybe it was just like, oh man, there's just too much of this SpaceX, like, just astronaut kind of stuff. I don't know. So Flaming Heron says, I wouldn't say I love Interstellar, but I enjoyed watching it. Oh yeah, I didn't say it's a bad movie. I just, it doesn't, to me, it just doesn't stack up with the the rest of Nolan's work, really. So anyway, all right, that's it for this time out. Once again, I do want to remind you, if you like this video, please give it a quick thumbs up. Subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel if you haven't already. And if you do subscribe, ring that notification bell, because if you do, it'll let you know when I upload other videos like the Villagers review, which I would actually head up today, but we had some really bizarre weather blow through. We had tornado warnings and everything else for a few hours towards the later afternoon. Anyway, of course, you'll also be notified when the Daily Dope streams live Monday through Thursday nights right here on YouTube. All right, everybody. So those of you who are hanging out, watching live, and taking part in chat, thank you very much. Always appreciate that. I know a lot of folks out there catch the show after the fact, maybe even on Memorex. I certainly love that as well. Really, really do appreciate it. One thing I do want to mention before I kind of wrap up, as far as like, doing the thumbs up and subscribing, stuff like that. All of that really helps me when I'm talking to companies who don't know who I am. And as far as, maybe doing reviews of some of their stuff, things like that. So more subscribers, more comments on the videos, thumbs up. The interaction's pretty decent as far as this goes. But, I mean, it's not like I get 1 million views on anything either. So, anyway, just wanted to mention that because it is really important. So, anyway, those of you out there watching, enjoy the rest of your Tuesday night / Wednesday morning or mid-afternoon or later than mid-afternoon, depending on you where you are in the world. I will be back tomorrow. And of course, as I wrap up these shows during this never-ending pandemic, I certainly hope all of you out there are being smart and staying safe. Oh, you're still here. Well, once again, thank you very much for watching this video. And of course, if you'd like to subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel, click right here. And of course, if you want to see one of the latest episodes of the Daily Dope, click right on up here. And if you want to roll the dice, take your chances, see what YouTube thinks you might like from the channel, give a click right here. Once again, I'm Jeff McAleer, and I'll see you next time.